Happy Tuesday, everyone. It's Tuesday. So come on down. Let's get busy. We got some things to do. Oh, I'm excited about today. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. It's been busy since the minute I woke up, the minute my feet hit the floor. It was crazy town. But, that happens, right? So come on in. I'm just waiting to see everybody. There you go. There's my Bobby girl. Hey, Bobby. Glad to see you. I hope you're feeling better. Give everybody a little prayer for Bobby for her tum-tum. Yeah, there's nothing worse than, having to deal with all kinds of stuff. It is 1 o'clock already, Joanne. There's Rita. Hello. Hello. Y'all, are you sharing this? Are you bringing your friends in? Are we going to get sprinted up? Today's a big day. It's Tuesday, and that means we're on day number 2 of the sprint. And I expect really great things this time around. I expect huge things this time around. And there's Trisha. A bunch of people are coming in. I love this. So share this video, you guys. You share, you care, and I give you books. That's the kind of gal I am. As a matter of fact, this book is going out to Catherine Campagnola, who has been so kind to share. And when she shares, you know what she does? She shares it to the public so I can see. And she says, hey, check this out. I think this is something you might enjoy, something like that. But if you do that, I can see it, share it to the public when you share on your Facebook feed. And then I can say, you know what? You know what I like? These guys are sharing this. And you know what? I am going to reward them with a book. And we send it only in the United States. Sorry, you guys. Otherwise, they go bonkers. The United States Postal Service wants to take advantage of that, and I'm just not cool with that. So, if we can send it, to you here, I can afford to do it. Otherwise, it's just gets pricey. Catherine Campagnola, do send in your ticket to support at savingdinner.com with your address so we can send the book to you. And I personalize them, by the way. I write them out to whomever I'm sending them to and sign them, because that's cool. Anyway, today is Tuesday, and it's kind of a tip day, and this is the day that we get things done. This is the day that we are just like in it to win it, especially if we're doing the sprint. Now, if you're on day 5, somebody just shared and said, hey, it's day 5 for me, or you're just starting out, this is your first time, and this is day 1 for you, or day 2, and I keep approving new people who are coming in. Hey, that's fine. You start when you start. And if you haven't gotten an email yet, just know that when we start as a group, the emails start on the Monday. So October 7th was yesterday. That is when the emails start. If you're not getting your emails, then you send in a support ticket to support at savingdinner.com. It doesn't help to put it out in the Facebook group because I do not do customer service. You guys don't want me in there doing customer service because that is not it's not my strength. My strength is doing what I'm doing right now. That's it. But I can't help with your customer service support. I can be a support, of course, to you any way that I can. But if you need some kind of technical assistance or something, that's where those go. Support at savingdinner.com. We'll take care of you. We always do. You don't stay in business for 19 years if you don't take care of your people. Am I right? It doesn't work in any kind of relationship like that, especially in this kind of a relationship. So there. So today is, I want to talk about having the belief in yourself in order to stay the course, in order to get this done. Now, I'm talking 7 days here. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody who's just like, well, what about this? And what about that? Why can't I have this? Why can't I do that? I'm asking for 7 days, and I'm asking for 7 days of compliance with exactly the way that I have it written. And you know why? Because it works. It works. I will tell you, after 25 years of being a nutritionist, every single thing that I do when I put together plans has a purpose. It's not just willy-nilly, hey, do this, whatever. Every single thing has a purpose. There's a purpose for the bone broth. There is a purpose for not having cream and sugar in your coffee. There is a purpose for not having any kind of artificial sweetener or any kind of natural sweetener. There is a purpose. And I go through it in pretty extensive detail I think anyway, in the saving in the Sprint document. And if you want to get on board, go get it, grab it. It's free. savingdinner.com/sprint, and you can see exactly what it is that you need to do. It will outline the whole thing for you. Fasting is there for a purpose. It's there to reset your appetite. It's there so that you can understand what hunger really feels like. How many of us have gone through our lives where we're just constantly eating and we never even feel hungry? It's mealtime. We don't feel hungry. We're just like, okay, we're ready to eat because it is lunchtime, or it is breakfast, or it is dinner. But we know from personal experience that it's been a really long time since we felt hunger. And sometimes some of us have had problems with eating too fast, eating too much, and eating past full into Thanksgiving full, where we just want to lay on the couch and pray for death. It's crazy, but we do this to ourselves. And I'm here trying to unplug the crazy machine and trying to unplug the carousel of crazy and get you to the place of understanding and working with your body, because believe it or not, your body is intent on healing itself from any chronic condition, any of them. And I'll go on record as saying that, any of them. Your body your preference is to heal. Now, will it happen for you? Is it going to happen for everybody? How far you are and everything like that. I mean, there's a lot of considerations here, right? And it's not for me to say. It's not. This is between you and your healthcare provider and God, really, at the end of the day. But I do know this. I know this one thing, and that's this. And you can write this down. You can take it to the bank, and you can do it. Okay? When you align with your body, and you are aware of your body, how your body functions, when you're aware of what your body needs, when you have a plan that sets out to clear the inflammation and all the things that are going on, in your body as much as it can. I mean, there's only so much that a 7-day plan can do, right? When you're in that place of understanding that you are a cooperating element to this whole equation, that your frontal cortex and how you think about this plan matters, that's when the belief starts to set in. That's when the magic starts to happen, because the magic, it has been written about over and over and over again, repeatedly, in the Sprint Facebook group, to the place where I was just slack-jawed, the last time that we did this. And this is what you need to understand. Plugging in to the magic is plugging into yourself. I'm going to say that again. Plugging into the magic is plugging into yourself, because the power that you personally hold within you is greater than you know. It's true. It's greater than you know. And this is the reason why we have let everything go and have expected everyone else to do it for us. Not, in an intentional way. It's just kind of almost a cultural thing. We look for the next book. We look for the next guru. We look for the next thing that's happening, instead of looking at where our contribution is. Do you understand what I'm saying? Our contribution is huge. We don't look at ourselves as having any answers. It's all outside of us. But if we start to look at the inner wisdom that we have, and we have inner wisdom. We have experiences in our lives. We have, if we're God-fearing women and believe in the power of the Holy Spirit and believe in the power of our own God-given intuition, we can start tapping into that instead of tapping into everybody else's opinion. I hope that hits you upside the head, because that to me has been the biggest of needle movers. The biggest of needle movers is when you understand how much power you actually have, and how much power you have by saying what you need to say and not being kept silent, sort of Stepford wifey, or whatever those little women were, those you know that show that I won't watch that scares me. You have to look inside to pull the power out. The power is not out there. The power is in here. That's where the power is. That's how you stay the course. That's how you believe in yourself. That's just how you go through life in a way that is intentional, in a way that is fun, in a way that is exciting, in a way that isn't just, God, get me through this because everything's awful. You know? Who wants to live an oppressed life? Who wants to live a life where you feel like you don't have the power to speak up? Who wants to live a life where you think, I can't do this, it's too hard? If you look at it and you have this Eeyore attitude about absolutely everything, you have completely unplugged from the power source. Completely. And to plug into the power and to plug into just a 7-day plan, that's all I'm asking for is these 7 days, and to see what you're capable of is basically throwing gasoline, putting gasoline on a tiny spark and creating a fire. Because now you've got the energy source to sort out the other things in your life. It really is that simple. And it really is that powerful. You know, my quote this week, and I didn't even write down who wrote this. Shoot. But this is a good one. Pain is temporary. Quitting lasts forever. If you quit on this and say, oh, this is just not for me or whatever, and then you go on and do the same old thing, and then meanwhile, your sisters are all doing this and they're just, you know, embracing this with both arms and saying, I don't care, it's 7 days, big deal, let's do this. And you're going to see their results and you're going to say you quit because over, you know, the power of the potato chip was too much or whatever. And I'm not belittling cravings. I'm not belittling you if you cave. What I will say is I want to bring you back and say, okay, if you didn't do it perfect, big deal. Pick it up, sister, and let's go again. That's where the power is. The power is not quitting. The power is not quitting. The power is going. In spite of the fact that you might have screwed the whole thing up, you pick it up and you go again, and you just say, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to dig in. I'm telling you, you are not going to do it perfectly, but you are powerful and you have the ability to pick it up and to do it again. Stop quitting on yourself, okay? Stop quitting on yourself. When you quit, you're telling yourself, I don't have the power to do this. You're telling yourself that you're not good enough. You're telling yourself that you don't have the same worth as everybody else in your life. Come on. You're bigger than that, aren't you? I say, yes, you are. And I say, get into this. Dig in, for heaven's sakes. Do this past the point of what you ever thought was possible for your life. How many times have you just quit? Just given it up. Oh, it's too hard. It's too this. It's too that. You have a reason for everything. Suit up and show up. That's it. Get your groceries. Go make your sprouts. Make your soup. Do all of these things and stop quitting on yourself. When you quit, you're not quitting on just a plan. You're quitting on yourself. Can you feel that? Can you feel the power of staying with something even if you don't know what it looks like? Now, here's a Bible verse for you. Okay? I love this Bible verse. Now, faith is the assurance of what we hope for and the certainty of what we don't see. The faith that I'm asking you to do, the faith that I'm asking you to have right now is in yourself and in this plan and in the fact that God will take you through anything. Even 7 days of just, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Speak up for yourself, sister. Speak up. Don't quit. It is 7 flippin' days. 7 days that you can just see what you're made out of. I love stuff like this. I love having to push myself a little outside of what is comfortable. I love to see what I am actually capable of doing. And that's what our belief system is all about. And I'll tell you this, I posted, I hope you listen to it. It's my story with Christina Rasmussen. She is a dear friend of mine, and she is an expert on loss. She didn't understand loss until she actually lost her husband in her 30s. And even though she was a grief counselor, she had to scrap everything and start over, because what she learned in school had nothing to do with the real life of having to deal with losing a husband with 2 small children to cancer in your 30s. And I love her. We met years ago and became instantaneous friends. Kind of how Marla and I, when we first met, it was just like, oh, love at first sight. This is my friend forever. That's how Christina is. And smart as a whip. So she did an interview with me. I didn't know what the questions were going in. And so I was just like, oh, wow. I had to dig into my whatever and get my story. But what I love about it is one of the things that she had me saying, and one of the things that I say to you, is that in order, people often wait for motivation and the confidence to go forward. Okay. And I say to you that it takes just courage and one step, just a little bit of courage and one step, and just say, oh, what the heck? I'm just going to do it anyway. I can't tell you how many times in my career I just said that. I'm just going to do it anyway. I had imposter syndrome like you wouldn't believe. I was scared like you wouldn't believe. But I didn't live in fear. Being scared and afraid is a little bit different. It's a little intimidating. But being fearful is something entirely different. Fear is, to me, is something that needs to be saved for being chased by lions and bears and things. That's real fear. We can be afraid. We can be scared. We can be a little intimidated. And what I say to you is that Christina pulled a lot of stuff out of me. And the biggest thing that, because I listened back to it and I went, oh gosh, yeah, I remember all this. But the thing for me was, and has always been, it's my calling card, if you will, is that I didn't wait for things to happen. I made things happen. I didn't wait to have somebody else create it. I created it myself. Today, a couple of days ago on Facebook, this woman was talking about, well, gee, I've been doing this for 6 years and I'm tired of this and I'm tired of that and all of that. And I just said, okay, well, basically, honey, when you've been doing it for 19 years, then we'll talk. I wasn't that blunt. But what I did say was, it happens. I can't tell you how many times I've been ripped off. I've had my recipes, my courses, all of my things. I started the menu planning business. I started that. There was nobody else online doing it. And then, now there's quite a few competitors out there. I started putting together shopping lists as part of my thing. Like, here's the plan and here's the shopping list. I mean, if you were part of Fly Lady back in 2001, you saw some of my first work, because that's where it started. And now it's just everywhere. But, am I going to sit there and rub my hands and just, oh my goodness, everybody's copying me? Heck no. All right. So that was a good idea. I've got other ideas too. My ideas have nothing to do with the belief that I have in myself. It has everything to do with what I see as a possibility for helping others into the future. I said in that podcast interview from Christina that I saw myself as a teacher way, way, way back when I was tutoring little kids and teaching them how to read. I saw myself as a teacher, and the delight that I felt when I was able to see somebody turn on and get it is the same delight that I get when I get to see you guys turn on and get it. But you know who those people are? They're the ones that don't quit. They're the ones that trust, not me necessarily, or maybe partly me because they've known me for a long time, but they trust in the process. They trust in themselves, and they trust that this is going to work for them. They fully 100% cooperate with their bodies, with themselves, and they embrace this plan with everything that they have. These are the ones that you're going to read about in the sprint group that are getting the spectacular results that they're getting. And yeah, it's a good plan. But you know what's really good? What's really good is when you take something that's a good plan and you take this on as if this is your life mission for the next 7 days, and you're just going to grab it and go for it. No questions asked, just going to do it. 7 days, I can do this. And then there are the spectacular results. It's the clearing of the decks. It's getting rid of the inflammation. It's having your doctor say you don't need that medication anymore. It's watching the scale when the needle just keeps going down. It's taking that tape measure and saying there's 5 inches off my waist. And it's also seeing how this bolsters up who you are so that when you attack something else in your life that has nothing to do with the sprint, that you can take that on too. Because you've got the confidence to do it. And the confidence came after you did the thing. The confidence came after. One little step of courage can open up your whole entire world. And that, to me, that's the icing on the cake. Although we're not eating cake, nor are we eating icing. Okay, but anyway, listen to that podcast from Christina. It was an interesting time, and I really enjoyed it. I see it again. Please, can you explain autophagy? Okay, or autophagy. I see it pronounced both ways. So autophagy is basically having cells killed off. Okay, so it's a cleaning up, if you will. So think of it this way. You go into this humongous warehouse and everybody throws their trash on the floor. And then everybody's working around and the let's just say that the factory keeps working and it's 24/7 and nobody's cleaned up the junk on the floor. It's just sitting there. And then there's more junk on the floor. Before you know it, all the workers are up to their knees, they're up to their waists, or they're almost swimming in the trash that hasn't been cleaned up. Autophagy is getting that system of cleanup happening on a regular basis so that there's not all that trash all over the floor. That is a very simplistic way of explaining it, but it's a matter of cleaning up the cellular waste. We have cellular waste in our bodies. And understand that there is a hierarchy within your body of need. This is why I'm so adamant about going for 12 hours without eating. You have to do that because that gives your body that rest time. So it's not spending time on digestion, it's spending time on cleaning up. I mean, this is basically when most of this stuff happens, the healing and the cleanup. That's what it is. It's healing and cleaning up. So when your body is in that mode, if you are digesting, that is a hierarchy of need where the digestive energy is going to go first before the cleanup and the healing. Do you understand what that means? So I look at it from the perspective of when you have a certain amount of fasting, you're going to trigger that. So you can get that in like 2 days of fasting, you start to trigger it, or sometimes earlier. It really depends on who you listen to, and there's a lot of different opinion on when autophagy starts to happen. But I just want you to understand that any kind of fasting in this 12 hours, which is super simple for everybody to do, it just means getting rid of that nasty habit of eating after dinner and snacking, and getting rid of snacking altogether, because snacking's just fully evil because it ruins our hunger hormones, it ruins our appetite, it ruins everything. You know, my mom used to say, no snacks, it'll ruin your dinner. She's right. Just that old-fashioned meme of not eating and not having a snack is really true. And we're over snacked. Like I said to you over and over again, we are overfed and undernourished. And what we're trying to do is bring it back in. This is what we do. Okay? Anyway, so the cleanup happens as we fast. The cleanup is this is when the cleanup and this is when the healing is. All I'm asking you to do right now is to do it for 12 hours at a time. When you do it for 12 hours at a time, then you can graduate if it works for you. If you don't have any kind of medical conditions that it's not a good idea, like type 1 diabetes, you really need to talk to your doctor because blood sugar issues are an issue and that needs to be dealt with. Same with anybody, you know. It needs to be something that you have the comfort of doing. And listening and dialing it in and listening to your body is critical mass. Your body will tell you what to do if you just give it enough information. If you give it what it needs. Your body will say, listen, I'm hungry, eat. It's time to eat. Not at the first wave of hunger. The first wave of hunger might just be, oh, we're just trying to figure this out. But the second wave of hunger might be, hey, seriously, listen up, sister. let's feed the stomach here. And if you're transitioning from a really crappy diet into the healthy sprint and just an anti-inflammatory diet in, anyway, you have to have a little patience with yourself. You might get some signals that just are not true. We have these two hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin. And ghrelin is I call it the gremlin because he's like, I'm hungry, eat, 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 eat. And you stimulate that with all the carbs, all the carbs, any kind of carbohydrate. Understand, any kind of carbohydrate becomes sugar in your body, which then becomes glycogen in your liver. And that's the stored sugar, essentially. When you're changing that from having the sugar in your liver, and you're changing and draining that all out, and you've decided to go to being a fat burner instead of a sugar burner, then there's this whole series of events that happen and your body has to change over. Okay, so it's changing over, it's using ketones, which means it's going to be using fat. And there's a whole series of events that happen from that whole thing. And there's patience that's needed, and there's retraining of the leptin and the ghrelin. The leptin is the one that says, I'm full, that's enough. And your leptin is out of control now, and so is the ghrelin if you've been constantly snacky all the time and eating a bunch of garbage. And when you're eating all the garbage, you are overdoing it, and you've got sugar galore. You are a sugar burner, not a fat burner. And it's almost impossible to lose weight like that. It can happen, but again, we have to look at ourselves as the chemical composition of what we are, right? The chemical composition of what we are is the most important. Okay? That is how we live our lives. That is how our bodies function. So if we can function from the place of understanding that our ghrelin and leptin need to get in line, and that this is what's going to happen, and that we're going to feel not full sometimes, maybe we might have a little bit of the keto flu, which happens. And where is I forgot my hot melt mix. I was going to show you my hot melt mix. Oh well, I drink that on a regular basis because it has the things in it that you need in order to surpass the keto flu, because that's not fun. It does feel like the flu. But your body is wanting, if you want to turn over and be a fat burner, your body is going to go with you, but you just have to deal with maybe a little discomfort, because remember, the pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. We're not going to quit because we have a little discomfort, are we? Really? Ever have a baby? That was not exactly fun, but the result was pretty phenomenal. Yeah. It is pretty phenomenal. I don't understand this right here. What am I saying? When I was told that I had a fatty liver, the doctor didn't explain why. Well, I mean, there you go. Yeah, your doctor's not going to explain why, because you know what? There are really no symptoms necessarily. It's liver enzymes. That's how they find out. And the why part of it is, if you want to find out what a fatty liver is about, fatty liver is about not eating right. It's not eating right. Think about what you're doing to your poor liver. Your liver, you lose like 70% of your liver and it will regenerate itself. It's such an amazing organ. However, there comes a point where you have a fatty liver disease and it can go into a non-alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver, where it's just you've beaten it up too much. This is an opportunity to pull back. And yes, you can heal fatty liver. You can. Just stop with, and believe it or not, that comes with eating more fat. But I'm talking about the healthy kind. I'm not talking about, dump your Wesson oils, guys. Dump all of that crappy vegetable oils that you have in there and change over to avocado oil, to butter, to ghee, to extra virgin olive oil. And learn to use those oils and get rid of the garbage that's in there, because it is absolute 100% garbage. Good healthy fat is the fat that you need and your body knows how to respond to. What we understand this, when we feed our bodies, we are giving our bodies information that it needs in order to process the food. So if we're giving them anti-inflammatory food, our body's saying, I'm going to feel better over here. Boom, and that's what happens. The healing happens that way. If you're giving your body a bunch of too much garbage, too much this, too much that, that's causing inflammation, because again, your body does not have an agenda. Your body's agenda is this. Is this good for me or is that not good for me? If it's not good for me, then here is the series of events that's going to happen, right? And the series of events that are going to happen are all based on the inflammation that you're putting inside of your body. It's like walking around with a splinter in every single organ of your body. It's like walking around. You know how it is when you have a splinter? That's all you can think about is get this thing out of my finger. Your whole body is like that. So, come on, let's take a clue. If we're, and I say that to myself too, I probably have a fatty liver too. I've got a good 20 pounds I still need to lose. But when we are in the place of giving our bodies the food that it needs, the clean food that it needs, the anti-inflammatory food that it needs, it starts the business of repair. Bingo. You give your body the information that it needs. It's like when you are working on your computer and you keep giving it bad information, what happens? You're just going enter, enter, and it's like, it won't enter. It won't enter because you're giving it the wrong information. You're not getting anywhere. And as a matter of fact, you want to take your computer and just toss it into the middle of the street and hope an 18-wheeler rolls over it. It's frustrating. Well, how do you think your body feels? Your body feels the same way. It's frustrated. Okay, I guess we don't want to clear things up and clean things up. Therefore, I'm just going to, give you all kinds of problems. I'm going to give you a fatty liver. I'm going to give you some arthritis. I'm going to give you an autoimmune condition. I'm going to give you some pain. I'm going to give you bad skin. I'm going to give you an expanding waistline. And I'm going to give you a pair of jeans. You're going to have to start shopping in a new store. That's what it is. And where do we do? Where do we go from there? We're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to wear these jeans anymore, without even thinking about what's going on in the inside. So that's it. That's all I want to say to you today is that believe in the magic that's in it yourself. Believe that every single bite counts. Every single bite matters. And your body is going to either work for you or against you. Your body is either going to say, great, let's work on a little autophagy here that we just talked about. Let's do some cleanup. Let's loosen body clutter. Let's do all of these things. Or it's going to say, great, thanks for the more garbage, great, more sugar, great, more damage. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here you go. More fatty liver problems. And just wait. Drip, drip, drip. There's going to become a tipping point where it tips over. And that little issue that your doctor said, hey, you have this, is now something more serious, and you're sitting across the desk from him, and he says to you, I'm sorry, but this is what's happening, and I don't know what we can do about it. I don't want that for you. I want you to believe in your own magic. Believe in the power that you have within yourself to completely change the course of where your health is going, where your body clutter is going. They're all connected. And trust me, you cannot, we have to lose the weight, guys. We just do. Being overweight is inflammatory in and of itself. We're covered in inflammation. That fatty belly, that's inflammation. Those big thighs, that's inflammation. You know, and I'm speaking as one who's walking it myself and working on it too, because getting rid of the inflammation means getting rid of the fat. I have to. And if you want to watch somebody and actually you want to see every day what they are doing, day by day, consistently, watch Marla Silly. Look at her sitting in her chair and how she's changed. She's 100% different. From July, she showed me a picture of her the day that we arrived versus today, and she's lost 23 pounds, probably 24 by now. I don't know. 24 pounds. And the inflammation, the decrease in inflammation is so obvious in her face, so obvious in her neck and her shoulders. And she said, well, my measurements are just the same, but I've lost 23 pounds. But you watch. When things whoosh and when you are consistent and care that much about yourself to stay the course regardless, you do lose the weight. You do get things going again. And I'm really excited because I tried this experimental thing with my doctor on doing a thing without thyroid. I was without thyroid for 3 weeks and I thought I was going to die. I felt like I was walking through wet cement. But I still did my flights. I still did everything, but I'd flop into bed just dead and slept like crazy because I was so exhausted. But the fact remains, and I think this is the good part, I still did it. It wasn't fun. I still did it. And you can do it too. You can do it, but again, go back to the doctor, work with your doctor. I'm taking thyroid medication. I already feel 100% better. And I know now that the weight is going to drop. My weight has stayed the same since the last time we did this. I've got it all here on my little fly calendar. I'm still giving myself gold stars, but I lost 3.5 inches. Cool. And I'm wearing different size jeans and a shirt I haven't worn in a year. So yay. Be the change that you want for your body. Do the things that you know are going to bring this about, and enjoy the feeling of being a wise woman. Because Wise Woman Wednesday is coming tomorrow. We're going to be doing some preaching. We're going to really reach out and we're going to grab that power by the neck and we're going to shake it up, girls. We're going to make it happen. So that's all I have for you today. I think that's enough. And I hope the Sprint shop is right here posted. If you haven't ordered your Sprint supplements, you want to put your results on steroids, go for it. It's go time. We're going to make things happen. So I want you to believe in your power and to believe in the magic that you have within. Because I'm telling you, you start dwelling on that, you start, writing this out, you start intentionalizing, you start feeling and visualizing yourself in whatever size you want to see yourself, and sitting across from the doctor who says, I can't believe the results of your blood test. This is fantastic. What have you been doing? Start thinking in those terms. That's magic. That's magic, capital M. So exciting. Also, let me see. Of course, I've written things down and I can't find them now. I know it's somewhere. Oh, here it is. October 17th, mark it on your calendar at 7 p.m. I am going to be introducing you to the Hot Milk Club. I'm not going to tell you a thing about it except that it's going to be super cool and it involves personalized coaching. I said I was never going to do this again, but here I am saying I'm going to do it because, again, it's back to teaching third graders how to read. The sparkle of getting it is just too much, and I can't help myself, so I'm doing that. The other thing is check out the Sprint shop. Everything's in stock. Infla Crusher is on its way. We'll be there anytime. And today at 3 o'clock, I don't know what your question is, Bobby. Today at 3 o'clock, we're doing tea time. I'm doing it at Marla's house, and we just got some tea blends from India. Seriously, from India, slow boat from India. We've been waiting and waiting, waiting. It finally came yesterday, and we're going to have tea time and taste our teas. We are going to be introducing a tea to you. We're calling it, spoiler alert, I'm sure Marla's not going to mind that I say this, Wise Women's Tea. I'm so excited. I am so excited about this. So join us at 3 o'clock for sure, and we will be having tea. I keep threatening to put on a big hat, but probably not. All right, so I'm thinking, Bobby, I don't know what your question is. Something about vegetables? Steamed vegetables are always better than raw vegetables, just simply for digestive purposes and just easier on you. So I would go with that. Raw vegetables can be really tough on digestion, and you might not get the full impact. So I love what you did with your little spinach water, by the way. I thought that was great. Fabulous. All right. Chop, chop. Let's get to it, ladies. I will see you in the sprint group and Hot Milk Dieters. I will see you in there as well. We are going to be, the Hot Milk Diet, I did my 3 counseling sessions with you, so that concludes the Hot Milk Diet, the coaching that we did. If you haven't watched all those, watch them all. If you have questions, I will help you with those. So all you have to do is post them, and I'll be in there. You know me. I can't stay out of your business. Thank you. I will see you guys at 3 o'clock for tea time. Don't forget, it's going to be really fun. Talk to you. Bye.